The Christmas market in France that was the site of the gunman's attack on Tuesday is back open again. A gunman killed 4 people and wounded a dozen more. The Strasbourg Christmas market is one of the oldest and most famous in Europe. Security remains very tight. Officials say 7 people are being held in connection with the attack. The main suspect was killed yesterday by police. Joining me now to talk more about the latest attack in France is Robin Simcox, the Margaret Thatcher Fellow at the Heritage Foundation, where he specializes in counterterrorism and national security policy. So, Robin, French police are still searching for a motive in the Strasbourg attack, but the main suspect did yell, "God is great" in Arabic, and he was on a French intelligence watch list. So is it safe to say at this point this was an act of terror?
Yeah, I think it's becoming increasingly clear this was an act of terrorism. You can tell from obviously the slogans he was yelling, the fact he was on the watch list, the fact that ISIS have now claimed credit for the attack, the nature of the targets he was going after. I think it's very clear this was yet another attack. Another Islamist terrorist attack in Europe, unfortunately.
Yeah, which is very scary for so many Europeans. The suspect is believed to have been radicalized in prison. His internet use is also being closely examined. 2 big factors here, but really you also talk about how critical one-on-one contact is in terms of terrorism, how it sort of plays a greater role in all of this.
Yeah, I think we get hung up at times on the online radicalization. Of course, it's an important component of it. Certainly in terms of spreading the propaganda, the internet is very important. But so often when you look at these cases, there's an individual charismatic recruiter who draws these people down a path of radicalism, down into extremist ideology. We don't know the exact particulars of this case yet, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if there was one individual or a small cell, especially in prison, that had an influence on the path of the gunman.
We've also seen attacks at other Christmas markets. What makes them targets for this kind of violence?
Yeah, Christmas markets, unfortunately, are a target for Islamist groups. There was a cell in Strasbourg, actually, in 2000, linked to al-Qaeda that attempted an attack. We may remember the Berlin Christmas market attack in December 2016. Killed 12 people and injured 48. I think the fact that these are soft targets often plays into it, and also the symbolism, generally viewed as obviously a symbol of Christianity. It makes an appealing target, unfortunately, for Islamist groups looking to be able to kill a large amount of people in a short space of time.
Like I say, very scary stuff. The Strasbourg shooting is the latest in a series of deadly attacks, as you mentioned, and of course, across Europe have claimed more than 200 lives, in France in particular, since 2015. What do you think it is about France that makes it so vulnerable, and what view do you think French authorities needed to take a step in the right direction?
Well, yeah, I mean, France is a very interesting case, right? Because it's obviously a proudly and fiercely secular country. That often rubs up in a combustive way with extremely devout Salafist Muslims in France. I think that plays into it. The fact that France has been prominent in taking the fight to ISIS abroad plays into it. The fact that the ideology in France historically has been spread quite far. The ideology of Islamism has meant this has been a problem France has been dealing with for decades. And in terms of the response, I think France is doing certain things on the right lines, but ultimately I think we also have to say the response to terrorism in Europe goes beyond any one country, any one administration to be able to fix. This is a generational challenge for all of us, and it's not going to be one leader or one country that sorts this mess out.
So important for everyone to work together on this. Robin Simcox, Margaret Thatcher Fellow at the Heritage Foundation, thanks so much for your analysis.
Thank you.